Championship. Presented by Dr. Pepper. Matching Alabama and Florida. A festive time of the year for Atlanta, Georgia's capital city, has had quite a year. The happy sounds of the annual Christmas parade this morning, and tonight the Georgia Dome will rock and roll from the enthusiastic faithful of the Crimson Tide and the Gators. Okay.
There goes a kick.
Oh! So it's 28-25, right?
It's Purdue coach, Purdue. Question whether Hilliard's ready to play. He'll be in the next one. Yeah. There ain't no question about Hilliard. Let's see.
Georgia Dome. And Ozell Powell, number 78, wearing white, has just picked up a Florida turnover on the opening possession of the football game, and the Alabama Crimson Tide as we come to the Dome for the SEC championship game presented by Dr. Pepper. You see the big tackle grabbing the ball as it floated through the air ever so softly, and suddenly the roof of the Dome is an endangered species. I mean, this Alabama crowd just about blew it off, and it is first and goal for the Tide. Now the Florida defense has to drop into the breach here and try to stop things, and penalty flags all over the field as the whistle stops the play. So while they are doing the sorting out of the penalty,
at a dead ball, false start on the offense, the 5-yard penalty, first down.
The Dr. Pepper starting lineup. And he gets the quarterback. He's pretty good until he throws the ball down the middle of the field, and then he has trouble. The running backs and receivers, Dennis Wilson is starting at tailback, but that's a position that's 3 deep with Sean Alexander and Curtis Alexander. The offensive front for the Alabama Crimson Tide has been on the improve of recent games and will be a big factor tonight, but they just lost 5 yards because of inflation and front. That pass intended for Curtis Alexander pitches to it very hard and it fell incomplete. Now let's continue with the starting lineup for Alabama. The offensive line lost a key starter this week in guard Will Friend. He's a very important guy up there, but he's gone. And Brennan Meadows fills in his position. The Florida defensive front, Mike Peterson, I would think the strong side linebacker number 29 will be very obvious since Alabama loves to run the ball. And strong safety Lawrence White will probably be up along the line of scrimmage most of the night out of the secondary. So right now it is second down. As Kitchens drops, looks to throw guard.
Inside receiver West is going to start to the outside. Then the outside receiver Hall cuts underneath him. It's a nice play. First possession for the Alabama Crimson Tide. A great way to start the game. Keith inside the opposite, the other team's 20-yard line.
Oh, it is third down now. Third and goal right here because they started first and goal and a penalty. So it is third and goal, even though the ball is back just inside the 15-yard line.
Conservative call. Doesn't want to put his quarterback at risk. Wants to get on the board first with a field goal.
John Brock is out to do the place kicking, number 31. He's a transfer from the University of Pacific when they gave up football. Lance Tucker will hold it, and Chester Lewis will snap it. So it's a chance for Alabama, a decided underdog in this game, to get on the board first. It'll be a 24-yard try. SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. By Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. And the new Dodge. It's about change. All right, the Florida Gators coming for their second possession of the game. First one ending in an interception of a batted ball. Danny Wuerffel obviously is your quarterback. Set the Florida lineup for you after this play. Ball is on the 20-yard line. Alabama turned away, missing a 24-yard field goal. Drivers are coming. Steps up and lets it go down the middle. And he can't quite get a hold of the ball, but he had broken free. The Dr. Pepper starting lineup. Florida's backs and receivers. Danny Wuerffel with 11 interceptions coming into the ball game. You can add one more. There was one a moment ago, so he has 12 on the year.
Black and blue this week.
Yes, he did. Ike Hilliard was a bit sore, and there was a time this week they didn't think he would play, but he's on the field and he returned the opening kickoff. And
he's
offensive front will check for you. There was a loss there. And
right there.
Second down and 10.
come on. The problem that Florida has had is in the interior of that offensive line. The center, Wiley Rich, was on him, and he just got beat. For 59, Rich Kalik, a redshirt freshman at left guard.
And it's third down and 15. And Jackson is left to the run at about the 16-yard line. So the Alabama defense is raging right now. They lost tackle Mo Collins to a knee. Johnny Young had to move up to the guard. The backup center, Yarborough, had to move into the guard spot. The defensive front for Alabama, which has been so very difficult. We'll check for you on the next possession. Right now it is Bobby Stevenson on the field, averaging just under 43 yards per punt. They have had trouble all season long with the first punt of the ball game.
Not this time.
Got it out of there nicely.
We have a 5-yard violation. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. First down.
The referee is Oscar Sizemore, heading up an SEC crew for the championship game. So there is no score in what has been so far an action-packed ball game. ABC Sports presents from Atlanta the SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper. And featuring, of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Florida Gators. And they have both started out turbocharged. Alabama will own the football for their second possession at their own 49-yard line. Curtis Alexander and Dennis Riddle are now in the backfield with Curtis Alexander, a good pass receiver in motion. Ball is handed off to Riddle, and he's struck a yard short of the line at scrimmage, and it was Keith Council who stepped up and hammered him on the tackle.
The Gators feeling pretty good about themselves after that big loss last week. The game stories for them today: protect Danny Boy, something they didn't do last week, 6 sacks for him, and force Alabama to throw the football. That means stop the run.
Steve Spurrier, age 51, and becoming the new bear in the conference now that Gene Stallings is leaving. His record I'm speaking of. That ball is put down the middle. Good pass and a good catch by Jamari Buchanan. He is a redshirt freshman from right here in Atlanta. Big guy, and he made a good catch.
Buchanan, a redshirt freshman, and he's got some speed, Keith.
A lot of substituting going on. We had the big upset to start the day as Texas defeats Nebraska. BYU went to overtime to get past Wyoming at 28-25. Now here we are, no score, at 10:25 to go in the first quarter in the SEC Championship game presented by Dr. Pepper. Ball is handed to Dennis Riddle, and Riddle can find no running room in the middle of the traffic. At least not enough running room to get where he wanted to, and that was beyond the yard marker, but it looks like he got a pretty good spot. Let's join Lynn Swan.
Well, Keith, you know, with Florida having lost to FSU, it's a very physical football game. I talked to a number of coaches who coached against both these football teams tonight, and they said Gene Stallings will be the best at getting his team up like a shark smelling blood in the water. What this game will be extraordinarily physical. Whatever the score is in the first half of the ball game, Gene Stallings wants to make sure that in the fourth quarter of this ball game, he has beat up the Florida football team so that whatever injuries they have, he can take advantage of. Keith?
He wants 70 wins in his 7 years before he goes out to the Red River Valley in Texas.
He's got 69 wins.
He got a good spot on that, and they got the first down by half the ball, and Kitchens goes big for the corner, too long. Over the head of Calvin Hall, who is a 6'4" receiver from Gallatin, Tennessee. He had a half a step on Antone Lott, but he could not run down the ball.
Keith, that upset earlier today by Texas over Nebraska means that the Florida Gators, even though they lost to Florida State last week and they were down all week, they were battered and bruised and really beaten up, if they win this game tonight, they would probably move up to number 3 and have a chance against Florida State in the Sugar Bowl to have an outside chance at winning the championship.
Ball is on the 41-yard line. Second down. Ball inside. Pretty good offensive line surge to move it 5 yards to the 36. Dennis Reidel, the junior out of Tuscaloosa, at 195 pounds, carrying the ball.
What Alabama wants to do is run the ball, take the pressure off, throw when they want to throw, not ask Kitchens to do it by himself, but they're the second leading rushing team in the conference, and they're the 7th best passing team. So Gene Stallings knows, he says, we have to run the football.
Curtis Alexander is in the backfield as they split him now with Dennis Reidel. And the man in motion is Dawson. Kitchens back. Has time. Got a man wide open. That's Reidel. First down. 4. And all the way to the end zone. Touchdown.
Here's from behind the defense. Kitchens has all kinds of time. The second leading receiver on the team is the halfback, Reidel. They throw to him a lot.
He was the man that scored that decisive touchdown in the final seconds against Auburn to win that game 24-23. The extra point try is good. First quarter, a 36-yard pass run play, and Alabama breaks to the lead over the Gators by a score of 7-0. From the Georgia Dome, Alabama jumps to a 7-0 lead over the Florida Gators. There have been 5 of these SEC championship games. The Florida Gators have been in all 5, and this is the 4th time they have faced Alabama. Florida has won 2 of the previous 3 against the Tide. William Woods kicks it off. Hammers it into the end zone. Ike Hilliard is coming out with it. He took it 4 yards deep. He comes to the 20 and goes down at the 22.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. Here's Reidel right here. Now he's going to come out of the backfield. Look at the linebacker right here who's supposed to cover him. He's looking at the safety. There is some confusion there. Now watch as Reidel comes out of the backfield. Both the linebacker and the strong safety cover the tight end. There's nobody out on Reidel. There was confusion. Bates gets over there late and misses the tackle.
Elijah Williams will be the deep man for the Gators now on their 3rd possession of the ball game. And then he slips out as a flanker, and Wuerffel throws quickly for Reidel Anthony, and he can't. He had it in his hands going down, and are they going to give him a catch? That's the question, and he's nodding his head and saying yes.
The secondary for Alabama, one of the best around. It's a little slant. Yes, he had it. Yeah, yep, he's still holding it. Yeah, he's still. There, he got it.
It was a hot rock, but he held it.
It was a slippery one.
2nd down and 4. Pitch. Williams turns upfield, gets to the 29, and he is taken down. The Alabama defensive front, Ralph Staten and Dwayne Rudd are the outside linebackers, and they are very, very aggressive, quick football players.
Yeah.
Ozell Powell's been the big news so far in this game. Yep. In the secondary, Fernando Bryant, very sore leg. Cedric Samuel may have to wind up playing a double duty, playing free safety, and also may have to work some at that cornerback position if Bryant's leg gives out on it. Kevin Jackson has 6 interceptions in that backfield. That ball is outside to Gators Green, and he can fly. And he is from Georgia, and they'd like very much to sit him on the bench for the rest of the night because he is dangerous.
Gators Green is a wide receiver that comes in motion across the formation. Number 5 right there, and he takes the place of a back, really. Catches a ball behind the line of scrimmage and then uses the speed to get upfield and pick up a first down. Florida needs to be able to run the ball some, Keith, to take the pressure off of Wuerffel.
41-yard line for the first down. 7:24 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Alabama. Whips that pass down. Pass intended for Jaquez Green, and a very good play by Cedric Samuel. So Samuel, right in that particular instance, was playing at the cornerback position.
And pressure on the quarterback, too. Inside again here. So take a look at the defensive lineman. Watch as he's going to roll off. The problem inside, those new offensive linemen, 96 is Myers, putting all kinds of pressure on Wuerffel when you only threw it very quickly, 3 steps. Wouldn't think he'd get any problems on that.
Second down, 10. Williams is the back behind him, but he's right up against him, so it's a pass play. Pressure coming from the outside. It is looped, and it is caught by Reidel Anthony. He slipped in behind, and Fernando Bryant just could not keep up with him, and he made the catch and moved the chains. Big gain for the Gators. Basketball coming up on ABC Sports. Michigan and Duke in regional action. Maryland, California. Payne-Weber College basketball, 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific tomorrow on ABC Sports. The ball is at the 38-yard line. So Florida now finally getting a little sauce in their offense. Double wide at the top of your picture. Staten can't get there. They pick him up. The ball thrown to the sidelines for Anthony and thrown over Reidel's head. He was covered by Deshae Townsend, a junior out of Batesville, Mississippi.
Time Wuerffel was rolling halfway, moving the pocket just a little bit. This is one he should have completed right here. He had single coverage on the outside. Alabama going to a 5 defensive back scheme. They'll mix it up all day. Mike Dubose, the defensive coordinator, does a nice job of mixing his defenses and his coverages.
Everybody seems to think Mike is the next coach of the Alabama football team.
I think you can book that.
Wuerffel back. Goes deep for the corner for Green. And it is incomplete. He didn't hold it.
You can't throw it any better than that.
Deshae Townsend never looked back. I don't think he ever saw that ball, but he was just enough in the way that Jaquez couldn't get a handle.
That ball was right there, Keith. There's a look at it right here. You got to catch that ball. Green, number 5 for Florida, has the ball right in his breadbasket. You got to make that catch.
If you're a lonely soul out on the highway with only the coyotes howling and you heard that comment, you would know it came from a quarterback. 38-yard line. Third down.
Lonely soul.
Third and 10 as Wuerffel is back. And to the sideline. That was incomplete again. He went toward Reidel Anthony. So they're really testing Deshae Townsend right now.
That was just good coverage by Townsend. He's been around for a few years, and he's a 3-year starter. Townsend started as a freshman, just a junior. He was a pretty good quarterback in high school.
That's another thing about these Florida wide receivers. All these guys who are doing things with the ball after they catch it, they all came in as runners.
Running backs.
Yeah.
They can move.
4th and 10, and they're going.
Steve said, since my kickers can't make it, I may as well go for it on 4th down.
4th and 10. Penalty flag. Wuerffel is sacked. Back at the 47 by Michael Myers. The umpire threw that flag in a hurry.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense.
It's against the Gators. Obviously, Alabama will say no thank you. We'll take the ball.
Having a problem in the offensive line, and Gene Stalling knows it and takes advantage of it. Wuerffel was sacked 6 times last week against Florida State. Alabama defensively doesn't sack the quarterbacks nearly as much, but that certainly wasn't any fault of Wuerffel.
Ball had not been snapped. Dead ball. Foul was called, so there is no 4th down play as yet. They back them up 5 and make it 4th down and 15. being moved around some by the center, and now the Alabama man comes in and slaps it away from him. And all of the officials inside there where the ball was slapped away do nothing, and the fellow on the side finally threw a flag.
Steve thinks it's against Alabama, and he said decline it.
I never heard the whistle blow to start the play, but maybe it
We
did.
have encroachment on the defense. The 5-yard penalty.
So give back the 5 yards, and we go back to where we were a little while ago before all this confusion set in.
See if Steve sends out his offensive unit to go back and go for it. He says, no, I don't want it.
He says
I'm going to kick it.
Yeah.
I want to punt it, so I want to scoot back a little bit further.
Sure, you want to be back so he's got some room to hang it up. Robbie Stevenson will punt. It's Deshae Townsend waiting for it. The first punt by Stevenson tonight was a 39-yarder, and now we finally have things sorted out, and we'll do it. You want a knuckleball wobbling around up there and drop it somewhere deep and try to kill it. Well, he went too straight up with it. Tony George came down the field and knocked the would-be receiver, Deshae Townsend, flat of his back, and finally there's a penalty flag thrown. But even if Townsend could have gotten to the ball, he had been flattened before.
The kick is so short.
I don't think he would ever touch it.
Well, he was trying to get up to catch it, though.
Townsend.
Yeah. It's like a replay of the previous penalty on George, not giving him enough room to catch the ball.
Coming into the game, Florida had 111 penalties this year for an even 1,000 yards.
That equates into 92 yards per game, and they are the most penalized team in the Southeastern Conference.
Far and away school records on both counts for the Gators. Astor may wish he'd have stayed home.
Interference with the fair catch signal. The 15-yard penalty from the spot.
Whoa. That's a big hit. 15 yards.
The punt is so short. Townsend's trying to come up and get it. See, he's got his eyes up. Now George, he thinks the ball's going to be kicked deeper, but the ball is way back up to our left, and Townsend was trying to get up to catch it, and George thought the ball was going to be kicked around the goal line. He was expecting something a much better punt.
So he gets hit with a 15-yard penalty, and Alabama gets the football back at the 34-yard line, first down. We've had some weird stuff already, haven't we? Alabama leading by a score of 7-0. This is Dennis Riddle on the right side, and he'll pick up about 3 yards. Christmas Day at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on ABC Sports. The Blue-Gray game, the Kelly Tires Blue-Gray All-Star Classic down in Montgomery. And then at 3:30 Eastern, we'll kick off the bowl season with the Jeep Eagle Aloha Bowl. That's all on Christmas Day here on ABC Sports. I wonder if Santa Claus is coming in on the outrigger canoe or the board.
Yes.
Put it on the 37, make it a second down and 7. Pitch it. A lot of time and throws it as hard as he can. And it's 2. That's the second time he's had Calvin Hall going deep, all away by a foot.
Well, what you're getting now, Florida has 8 guys up near the line of scrimmage shutting down the Alabama run. We're committing to the run. We got man-to-man coverage on the outside, and so Stalling says, let's take a couple shots at him. Bob Stoops, the defensive coordinator, says, I don't care. I'm going man-to-man on your receivers. If you can hit them, let Kitchens try and hit them. He's tried twice deep down the field and missed them both times.
So it is 3rd and 7 from the 37.
Steve's over there talking to Green about catching that long ball that he dropped in the end zone.
That's Riddle. Down. Lawrence Wright, the strong safety, right up along the line of scrimmage. He's going to be up there a lot tonight. They're sending so many people up there to stop the Alabama running game. Hayden Stockton averaging just under 43 Against Auburn, he was up around 48 for the game. He can have some big ones. Jaquez Green is the deep man for the Gators. Gets it out. Doesn't get all of it. It's a tail dragger, though. It might take a pretty good run once it hits the rug, and it does. Now it stops, and it'll be dead at about the 21-22-yard line. Time remaining in the first quarter now, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. 38-yard punt, no return. Danny Wuerffel, as he comes out, to run the Florida offense. Totals 3,269 passing yards this season. That would be a new Florida single-season record. He broke his own record, obviously, because he owns virtually every record that exists.
He owns, I think he owns 2 NCAA records, a bunch of conference records, and just about every Florida record there is, Keith.
Put it on the 21-yard line. Ike Hilliard, the deep back, but he's got the ball to the outside, almost broke it. Got up across the 25, close to the 27, and Kevin Jackson brought him down.
You didn't see that last week between Florida State and Florida. Guys helping each other up off the ground, slapping each other upside the helmet. The game last week between Florida State was a war, Keith. And Steve was saying Alabama, he likes the way they play. Just there's a little respect there. Kevin Jackson, Ozell Jackson up there. Ziegler, number 20, is on the field now. It's obvious that Fernando Bryant's sore leg is hampering him. So Ziegler, the sophomore from Mobile, is out there at free safety, and Cedric Samuel has moved over. And every once in a while, Fernando Bryant shows up, and he's out there now, number 25. But remember, he has the sore leg, and they'd probably like to get him in a deep situation and run him. Truer words were never spoken. If you got a corner that's had a leg problem, with the speed that these receivers have, they're going after him. He's out there right now. He's looking at Green. Back, hands it off, goes the other way. Upset across the big one all the way down to the Alabama 45-yard line. Watch the tight end who's lined up coming from the right side. He's lined up in the backfield there. Comes over, gets a piece of the block. Right there was a fullback, number Mobley. Florida has to be able to run the football. Put it on the 46 of Alabama for the first down. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. He looked over there. He had Reidel Anthony matched up against the sore-legged Bryant, but Anthony's pattern was short and Green was deep. Well, the best seat in the house today is inside the Bud 1 airship flying overhead. Give you these postcards of Atlanta in the evening in December. Had rain early this morning. Rained on the children's Christmas parade a little bit. Blew out. It's a cool Christmas night. Second down and 10. Wuerffel's going, and he's got Hilliard, and he's loose. Touchdown, Florida. Yards on the play. Ike Hilliard, who was hurt in last week's ball game, late in the game, missed all of practice this week. We didn't know whether he was going to play until late in the week, but it doesn't seem like there's any knee problem there tonight. Collins Cooper for the extra point. Yes, Collins Cooper. It is blocked by Fernando Bryant, the quarterback. He was 3 out of 4 in extra points this season. Been used very little. And suddenly here comes Bryant to block it. Anybody's going to get that one blocked. It's just not That's not Cooper's fault. Go back and look at the touchdown. Blitz and Rudd is 87. 42 is Pickett. They had a blitz on. He threw it quickly. Now watch the move right here that Hilliard does to get away from Townsend. Stops on a dime, cuts back. The running ability of the wide receivers turns a lot of ordinary plays into touchdowns.
Danny Wuerffel talking to Reidel Anthony right there. Coach with him. Florida got its touchdown and the extra point blocked it 7-6 at 3:11 to go. And here's your kickoff from Matt Teague. Driving kick goes to Sean Alexander. He bobbles it. He picks it up. He's looking for help. He's got some help. And he's looking to get it out to the 10 to 12-yard line. And a big scramble as if the ball might possibly have come loose. But remember something. There is a penalty flag all the way back at the 35-yard line on the Florida end of the field. Offside.
Offside. Want to kick a team?
On the kicking team. So Sean Alexander will get a reprieve. That was a low driving kick that Alexander just simply couldn't handle. And now the penalty is on Alabama. They'll come back it up 5 and kick it again.
Come on, Gators! Let's go, Gators!
Quarter number 1. Jam-packed. And again, if you've just joined all of the action for the day, Texas beat Nebraska in the inaugural Big 12 championship. BYU went to overtime to get past Wyoming 28-25. And now this is the SEC battle for the title.
Championship Saturday on ABC was turning into upset Saturday. BYU was down to Wyoming with just seconds to play, tied it up, and eventually won that ball game.
So they put the tee on the 30. Matt Teague, senior from Keystone Heights, Florida, will kick it off. Michael Vaughn is back there with Sean Alexander. Alexander's the freshman running back this season. Teague nailed this one. It goes toward Vaughn, the wide receiver at the 3. Back to the middle of the field, looking for the picking line, trying to go to the outside, and he can't get to the outside quick enough. And so he loses that protection, though he ran a very long way. So the Alabama Crimson Tide in the white suits, i.e. the visiting team, and the Florida Gators in the dark blue. And the Tide will go to work at the 20.
Did you go out and see that parade today, boss?
I just looked out the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got me into Christmas spirit real quick.
It's very festive right now about the city with the Florida people and the Alabama people. They both follow their team, and their legions are large, and the place is packed. A lot of enthusiasm for this game. This is Dennis Riddle, and he gets 3. Out for the 23. James Bates from Sevierville, Tennessee, the middle linebacker, tracking him down.
Bates, number 44, is the leading tackler on this team. He is the leader. He is the guy that makes the checks, gets them in the right defense at the right time, and has enough speed to get to the sideline to make that tackle.
Freddie Kitchens, number 9, junior out of Atala, Alabama. Sean Alexander now is in the backfield for them, and Kitchens looking for a pass. Will go down in a sack at the 16. There's one of the problems you've got with a freshman back there as a protector. And Kitchens gets a sack. Tim Beauchamp and Willie Cohen. Those are the defensive ends for the Florida Gators.
Kitchens is a redshirt junior, Keith, and he's been sacked, or the Alabama quarterbacks have been sacked 38 times this year. Florida defensively leads the SEC in quarterback sacks with 43, so that was a coverage sack. He had plenty of time to get rid of the football.
They put the ball at the 18-yard line to make it a 5-yard loss. doesn't, and Alabama will have to punt it. 38 yards on Hayden Stockton's first try tonight. I thought he might have been a little slow getting that first punt away tonight, too. We'll see. We'll watch this. He paced it a little bit better that time. He's got a mile high. Good hang time. And forcing the fair catch. Catch is made at about the 38-yard line by Jaquez Green. Green is only 5'9", 163, a sophomore from Fort Valley, Georgia. I mean to tell you, he can cover the real estate. Here's Smoney.
Well, Keith, whenever you have the #1 offense versus the #1 defense, Florida's offense is tops in this SEC, you're going to have a wide gap in stats. And the challenge, I believe, is always on the defense, because everyone says defense wins championships. Alabama's going to close the gap, not allow Florida just to run rapid up and down the field and score touchdowns, Keith.
No, they won't allow that. I don't think. I expect this to be a close football game. They normally play it. This is Taylor, however, with his second big run of the night. He picks up 11 yards and a first down before Cedric Samuel gets a hold of a hind leg and drags it down.
With those numbers that Glenn was talking about compute into is defensively, Alabama leads the SEC in every major defensive category, and Florida leads in 3 of the 4 major categories on offense.
Fred Taylor now, the 220-pound junior out of Belglade, with 44 yards on his 4 carries. He's come out blazing. He's now to the outside bottom of your picture as a wide receiver. That gives Florida 3 at the bottom and 1 at the top. And time is called by Alabama. So the Tide will have 2 timeouts remaining. We've got 12 seconds left to play in what has been a very long first quarter. All right, the Gators are cranking it up. They've got a first down at midfield. Wuerffel goes very quickly to Green. Green's finding some room to run now, and he's close to a first down. Depends on the spot. So just like that, bang, bang. And we played 1. So the score at the SEC Championship presented to Dr. Pepper, 7-6 Alabama after 1 quarter. Back after this word from our ABC station.
All right, Gators!
And we go to the second quarter of play at the Georgia Dome, just short of the 40-yard line on the Alabama side of the field. Florida ball, 2nd down and a foot. Oh, let's see, they go to the shotgun. Steve said they were going to do this in order to give Danny Wuerffel a little more time, make the Alabama defenders run a little farther. Strong, nicely, softly to Ike Hilliard, and Hilliard goes out of bounds at the 21, first down.
Here's your numbers, first quarter. Turnovers, the 1 turnover by Florida led to no points for Alabama. And look at the average starting field position. Alabama certainly had the best of that.
Tide down there had a chance early on off the interception of a batted ball by Ozell Jackson. They had a chance to score, couldn't get into the end zone. This is a field goal try. Eventually got it. A pass run play to Reidel. Wuerffel throws, and he's looking at Reidel Anthony, broke to the outside, did not see the ball coming, and it falls away incomplete. Cedric Samuel was covering on the play.
Keith, the linebackers are going to blitz right here. These 2 linebackers blitz. Now, when the linebacker blitz, this receiver's got to see it and break his route off. He doesn't break the route off. This is a side adjustment. Wuerffel sees it. Are you going to run a slant? He runs the corner route, but if the linebackers blitz, you got to run the slant because you can't block the linebackers long enough to throw the other route.
And so it is 2nd and 10. He got his pass away, and a defensive play. Very good by Kelvin Ziegler on Reidel Anthony. And the man from the outside came like a rocket. Paul Pickett.
Well, the same story as last week against Florida State. A lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's in the shotgun. He's got to throw it quickly. He releases it way before the receiver makes his break. It's a nice play. Knock it away.
And so Wuerffel has been decked one time hard already tonight. He throws very quickly again for Reidel Anthony. He's got a touchdown. Big old Donnie Young got out there and just got in the way a little bit in the middle of the field, and Anthony used that bolt to hide behind for a flash of a second and broke free. That sets a new NCAA record, the 11th consecutive game with a touchdown reception for Reidel Anthony, breaking the old record of 10 that he had shared with Desmond Howard of Michigan. And Florida is going for 2. Remember, the extra point try was blocked after the first touchdown. You've got Taylor, Hilliard, and Green all over on this side, and he throws it the other way, and the pass is caught by Anthony. It's a 2-point conversion. It's 14-7, Florida.
Now, Gene Stalling says, we're going to put pressure on you. We're going to try and get you before you get us. They were blitzing. He barely had possession of the ball, and this is what we need. This is not a long touchdown pass, but he throws the ball to Anthony, get him the ball, and let him run with it. He's a great runner. 2-point conversion. Our man is better than your man. One-on-one. They're not doing anything. Just throw the ball out there. Anthony sees it and will go up and make the play.
He's already been named All-American by the football writers, and now you see why. The score here at the SEC Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper, 14-7 for the Gators. Back after this word from our ABC station. Reidel Anthony having himself a whale of a football game, and we're only at 14:37 to go in the first half. Matt Teague will kick it off. Low line drive, hard to handle, bounces through the end zone, and goes beyond and comes to the 20. Well, tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, the PGA and LPGA tours will be down in sunny Florida. The J.C. Penney Classic. Rained out today. Pat Hurst, Scott McCarron, Donna Andrews, Mike Hulbert tied at 13 under. Kelly Keane and Tiger Woods won back at 12. And it all begins tomorrow at 4 Eastern time. It'll be a 54-hole tournament after the rain out today. And providing, of course, the weather's good tomorrow. John Daly and Laura Davies. Yeah, that was fun to watch. Dennis Riddle and Travis Smith in the backfield. It needs to do something now because Florida has posted 2 quick touchdowns on them, and they just stuffed Dennis Riddle right there. So the Florida Gator defense now starting to rise up a little bit.
And Alabama got the first interception, Keith, and ran it down to the 10-yard line. And Stallings, I know, is just going to remember this. They didn't get any points out of it. They started on the 9-yard line of Florida. Their first offensive possession. Not only didn't get a touchdown, but missed the field goal.
Second down. Still about 10. Kitchens throws it out to Riddle. Riddle running back into the traffic. And almost got away. Ed Chester got a hold of him as he went by and locked his legs at about the 28-yard line. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you know, earlier this afternoon, when Nebraska was playing against Texas, the whole team from Florida was at their pregame meal. They didn't actually see the whole game until they went back upstairs and saw Texas out in front. Steve Spurrier came down to the stadium just before the game, talked about the fact his team was focused just on playing this game. They didn't care about that, but I'll tell you what, I was told that on the bus there were a lot of guys that were down from last week's ball game. Suddenly their spirit was back and they were ready to get back into the challenge of a national championship.
Kitchens back.
Yeah, there's no question that loss today by Nebraska. Before the loss by Florida last week to Florida State, Florida was in control of their own destiny. Now at least they're back in the championship. If they can beat Florida State, and Ohio State beat Arizona State in the Rose Bowl, they've got a chance.
Hayden Stockton in to punt. 38 and 37 on his first 2 kicks. Jaquez Green waiting once again. Florida should get very good field position. He spins it out here. A little better kick this time as Green makes the reception on a fair catch at his own 28-yard line. 12:56 to go in the first half. Sparkling clear, cool December night. Atlanta, Georgia. Perry Jackson's in the backfield now, the deep man for the Florida Gators, and Wuerffel steps up under center again. First down, 28-yard line. Gators leading 14-7. Got a piece of him, but he steps away and runs it out across the 30 to the 31. He got away from Michael Myers. Myers had a hold of him, in fact pulled one of the wraps off of his arm. But couldn't hold him.
96 is Myers right there. He just goes right around Yarborough, number 62. That's a makeshift offensive line. 3 starting offensive linemen are out, including the center, Jeff Mitchell, who was an outstanding player.
Yeah, Yarborough came to town as the backup center. Practice this week at the backup center. He's up there looking down on guard. Wuerffel quickly. What a night Reidel Anthony is having. All the way to the Alabama 45-yard line.
They caught 11 passes last week against Florida State for 193 yards and a touchdown. This is just a stop route. Slant. And the reason they're doing that is because the philosophy for Alabama is pressure the quarterback. So Steve is having Wuerffel just take 3 steps, get it to the wide guy, and let him run.
5 catches for Anthony, 79 yards and a touchdown. And Elijah Williams now is the tailback. Ike Hilliard is the wide man at the bottom of the picture. And Williams goes in motion. Wuerffel had a little trouble getting a handle on it, but now gets his pass away, and he's got Williams wide open. Sigler can't get him, and he'll score. Touchdown, Gators. Well, that's a tailback out there in a wide spot, and it results in a 45-yard touchdown play.
That's the first pass that he's thrown to a back or anybody other than a wide receiver. The motion kind of messed up the defense, and then he just takes it down. The first 8 passes of the ball game, 9 passes were completed to wide receivers. First one to a back.
Now Collins Cooper will try again. The walk-on sophomore from Jacksonville. O-line drive is through the uprights and good. Phone call came into the office, said we want to talk to Collins Cooper. The lady said, well, we got a Cooper, but we don't have a Collins Cooper. He just hit the extra point. 21-7. The Gators lead. The SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. And Adidas. Danny Wuerffel in the ball game. 10 of 19, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns.
There's the Alabama defense trying to straighten out what mistakes they've made. The last 3 possessions, Florida has thrown a touchdown pass.
Matt Teague hammers it. Way back there. It'll come out to the 20.
Let's go back and look at the touchdown. Danny Wuerffel's done a lot of things. He can even play a little basketball. Watch him dribble this ball once, twice, pick it up. Rudd, the linebacker, is blitzing. Pickett, 42, is blitzing. He just picks it up and says, let me get the heck out. Let me back. Oh, everything's fine. Just calm down. Oh, I got a receiver. He's wide open.
Look what I found.
A little confusion in the secondary with the blitz going on.
Pretty hard standing there calmly and dribble the ball twice with 5 guys trying to kill you.
Especially when you've been getting blitzed for the last 2 weeks and you've been getting knocked down.
Yeah.
Keep your composure.
Sean Alexander, big freshman. Not much there for him. He's a redshirt out of Florence, Kentucky. Florida defense now is, they own the line of scrimmage after the last 2 possessions by Alabama.
Well, the last 3 possessions have been 3 plays and a punt for the Tide, and you got to give credit to that Gator defense. They have really been improved this year. Take a look at this graphic. Alabama is not a big come from behind team either. Well, they did it against Auburn 2 weeks ago. McGrew finally got him. The only man of any possibility on that play was way down the middle of the field. At the conclusion of the game, we'll have the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players from each team. Chevrolet continuing over the years to contribute to the general scholarship funds of our colleges and universities, having rendered up some $6 million over the years. Remaining in the first half, 10 minutes and 10 seconds. And Alabama's offense has grown. Third and 20. Penalty flag. Kitchens is knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know that the whistles had stopped the action or not. It's hard to hear in the Georgia Dome. Delay a game, Keith.
Looks like it.
You got delay of game on the offense.
So that comes before the snap. Gene Stallings has 1 more game to coach. That will be the postseason game that they will surely play. Leaving Alabama after 7 years.
He said the other day, said that this is just a chapter that I'm closing. It's not
the book.
Closing the book.
Well, he very directly told me that yes, he might coach again.
Oh yeah, I think he definitely wants to coach again.
He's a mere 60. Says he feels good, helps good, not burned out. So it's on the 5-yard line now for Alabama, and gets it out of the end zone. Throws it very hard. He threw it very hard onto the hands of Dennis Riddle, and Riddle had no chance in the world to catch that ball. It was thrown like a bullet. So that was not a very good series for Alabama's offense, but a wonderful series for the Gator defense as they had them on their heels the whole time.
Well, they got them out of their comfort zone. Alabama wants to run. They don't want to rely on having to throw the football.
Joe Stockton comes out to punt for the 4th time tonight. Out of the end zone. Green circles under it at the 43. Going to return it. Time remaining first half, 9:25, and Florida's hot. They've got the ball at the Alabama 41. First down. This Marriott moment comes from the inaugural SEC championship game, 1992. It was played in Birmingham, and the Alabama defense was the difference as they won 28-21 on this interception by Antonio Langham in the 4th quarter.
The last 3 times that Florida has had the football, they've scored. In fact, they've scored through the air. They start now on the Bama 41-yard line. That is the best field position they have had all day.
And as we told you, Danny Wuerffel has 211 yards passing, 31st time in his career he's thrown for 200 yards or more in a game. Working out of the shotgun and throws quickly to Ike Hilliard, and Hilliard will do the rest. He'll pick up 9 yards on the play to about the 33. Well, it'll be about 8.5 yards.
Alabama defensively, Keith, is ranked 1st in the nation. And they came into the ball game allowing only 5 touchdown passes all season. Tonight they've already allowed 3. That 5 on the year led the nation. I think they and Ohio State were tied for the lowest number of TDs and passes allowed.
Red Taylor, the single back. That 31st game of 200 yards was a huge Florida record passing Shane Matthews. That ball is thrown to the sidelines. Reidel Anthony. First down at the 14-yard line of Alabama, and Anthony is a wrecking crew tonight.
Well, Wuerffel, but the engineer is Wuerffel, Keith. He's putting the ball on the money. Watch as a linebacker out here is going to blitz. Now nobody is going to block him. Wuerffel says, I'll take care of it. I'll get rid of the ball before he gets to me. 3 steps, he sees him coming, just throws it. Now look how well this ball is thrown with a man in his face.
And it's first down, as we said, at the 14. He goes back under center now. Nobody behind him, and he'll call timeout. Didn't like something. So in that field position, and if you've got something you don't like, it's better to go let the man getting paid for it make the decision. Well, if you are an Alabama faithful, get a hold of something, including the Bible, maybe. Because your football team has got some major, they got to stop this runaway train. It's first down for the Florida Gators at tied 14. And you've got 9 people up there, and they got it. So 9 of them were up there, and it was Kelvin Ziegler, free safety, who found the crack to get to Wuerffel. And that'll back him up just a bit to the 18-yard line.
Mike Dubose, the defensive coordinator, just saying, I'm going to stay with the pressure, get after him, stay one-on-one. Ziegler is number 20, Rudd is 87. That play was doomed from the start.
Second down and 14.
Like a play from last week.
Yeah, I remember the one Dexter Jackson made, just like that. There's that little quick throw in the air. Hilliard can't track it down. And defended by Fernando Bryant. So they keep going toward Bryant with the news that he had a sore leg.
This is good coverage by Bryant. He's right next to him. Defensive back doesn't see the ball. Well, that's what you want to do, but tonight, unlike last week against Florida State, Wuerffel and the Gators are connecting on some of those tight coverage downfield.
It is third and 14 at the Alabama 18.
Got one-on-one.
They made him run. Dwayne Rudd, the linebacker, was coming after him. And it's fourth down.
The wide receiver didn't get the check off, and Wuerffel had nothing to do, just got rid of him. Now he's going to say, well, Spurrier told me earlier in the week that we may go for it on 4th down because, you know, the field goal kicker not being, well, Edmonton is hurt, and the other one is a walk-on. He said, well, I'll let him try this one.
All right, Collins Cooper's out there. He's had a point blocked. He's made a point. Now this is going to be his first collegiate field goal attempt. From the 25, a 35-yard try. Oh, he hammered it, and it's good. So the walk-on sophomore from Jacksonville does the job.
It helps when you're up by 14 points.
Does indeed. The new year with us. The Tournament of Roses parade begins at 11 a.m. Eastern time on New Year's Day, 8 out on the West Coast. Then at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific in Orlando, the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. That's all New Year's Day here on ABC Sports. quarterback and the coach. Many people have said, well, the quarterback is a mere extension of the coach. Well, he is.
He is, and especially in this system, and Steve loves it. I mean, he's 51 years old, and through this man right here, Danny Wuerffel, I think he's reliving some of his glory days, or his younger days at least.
He's got to be the steadiest, sturdiest kid I think I've ever seen.
What he is very accurate, and he makes good decisions. And I've said all along, give me a quarterback that makes good decisions and is accurate. I don't care how far he can throw. You see what Wuerffel can do.
That's Michael Ball on the 1-yard line. He runs into the traffic and stops abruptly at the 18. Alabama again, relatively poor field position. Here in the whole second quarter, Florida's been starting well up the field, and some of them near midfield. So that's why they're leading.
Wuerffel is doing what he is supposed to do.
Warren Faust.
Lead through the air, and
Warren Faust, the sophomore from Midwest City, Oklahoma, is in at quarterback. And Dawson throws it back to Faust. The big Faust is now below 207 pounds. And all of that razzle-dazzle results in about a 3-yard pickup.
trickery here.
Faust, a heralded high school player out of the state of Oklahoma, coming to Alabama. But after that one play, Kitchens comes back.
Faust played some earlier in the year, Keith. In fact, he's thrown 16 passes on the year. But Kitchens has handled most of it. This is his 14th start. Faust was in there for a little while, but explaining what happened on that play.
Well, he got 5 yards out of it, what they give him, and it'll be 2nd down and 5 with the ball out about the 23.
I think the bottom line is, Keith, that the Florida defense was where they were supposed to be and didn't allow that trick play to work.
Staying on, doing a good job. Kitchens pass, the sideline, and great catch by Michael Vaughn. He was within a step and a half of being out of bounds. He knew where he was, he knew where the ball was, and he made the play.
Behind the defense at ground level, Kitchens throws this ball just as he's hit. Vaughn, the leading receiver on this team, gets 1 foot down. That's all you need with possession.
And it's a 1st down at the 44-yard line.
Most of the passes that Alabama throws will be headed toward Vaughn or Reidel.
Working out of a shotgun, ball is handed off inside to Dennis Reidel. And he's got a good 4 yards on the carry.
Plenty of time left in this ball game, Keith. What Alabama needs to do is not to panic. Do what they do best. Get in their comfort zone and stay there. Run the ball, throw it around a little bit, and hope you're going to get back in this ball game. They've got to get some help from their defense taking it away, and also their special teams.
Curtis Alexander now. He's back there in the backfield. He's a pretty good pass receiver. He had a big play in the Oregon game, too. Kitchens moves it down and takes off. And it's a pretty good lift down at the 45-yard line, but that'll be a 1st down. Anton Lott came over and whacked Kitchens upside the head. But Fred is a big, thick guy. He's about 220-odd pounds. And he can take a lick now and then and not worry about it.
If Alabama can take this ball down, Keith, and put it in the end zone, we've got 5 minutes and about 40 seconds left to play in the half. Go into the halftime down only 24-14. It would be a big boost to this Bama squad.
Big difference. They've been mauled here in the second quarter. Here's a little shovel pass. Ball comes out and rolls along the ground. It's a shovel pass. And should be an incomplete forward pass, but there's a penalty flag over there thrown by one of the linesmen just about the time the ball snapped.
Had offsides on the defense. Be a 5-yard penalty. First down.
So the Tide get a break. Nate Anderson is the umpire. Tim Abel, the linesman. Line judge is Bobby Caldwell. Side judge Nick Boney. The Lynn Harrington's the field judge. The back judge is Steve Freeman. Astor Sizemore, as I told you, is the referee.
So look at what Alabama stands to do. If they win, to be in the Fiesta or the Orange, and if they lose, it's maybe the Citrus or the Outback. It's
Chuck Rose in town. He's
Citrus, yeah.
Citrus. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Kitchens looking at pressure coming. Throws the ball hard for Sean Alexander, and it is incomplete. Reddy has a tendency once in a while to really crank one. Those things are hard to catch when they're thrown that hard.
He's completed 52% of his passes on the year as Kitchens. And he's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns, which is not a good sign.
Here's Bob Stoops right there, the young man who came from Kansas State. Second down. Kitchens looking around and gets sacked. Number 58 just kept on coming, Johnny Rutledge, and finally he takes Kitchens down at the 49-yard line. Here is the play that bought the ticket for the Crimson Tide to get to this ball game. They were trailing the Auburn Tigers. Seconds to go. Pass to Dennis Riddle. He canters in from 6-yard line, and Alabama won 24-23. There was a pass interference play in the end zone that preceded the touchdown play that actually had a great deal to do with them being on the 6-yard line.
That drive was 2 weeks ago against Auburn and gave Kitchens a lot of confidence.
Passes away for Vaughn, and it's off the hands of Weary. Brett Weary, the corner covering on the play. Vaughn showed you his speed, though, in the last 6 or 7 yards of that as he started to pass Weary, and might have made the play if it had been a little higher. So it'll be punting time for Alabama. Though this time they should back up Florida just a bit. It'll be the 5th punt of the first half by Hayden Stockton. Jaquez Green standing back at the 10. And that's sort of angled for the sideline. Takes a good bounce on Alabama. Run toward the corner. That's pretty good. Out of bounds at the 6. There's where Florida will take over. Here's John Saunders. Hey, John, you know Florida wants the rematch. Bobby Bowden and the Seminoles don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
From the 6-yard line to Trent Taylor, and he wiggles around for a couple of yards, and the clock continues to roll along at 3 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first half.
And I think there's a bunch of Alliance folks out there that are pulling for the Gators also here, Keith.
I would think so, because the ice is thin. The road is muddy. It's a muddled mess is what it is. From the 8-yard line. That's going to place. Penalty flag thrown from this side along the line of scrimmage. At halftime, we have a gentleman from Ridgeland, Mississippi. This gentleman right here, who is going to try to throw a pass 40 yards at a moving target. And if he can hit the target, he can make himself $1 million.
On the offense, we only had 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
I think that would be a little bit easier to do than trying to kick that field goal this afternoon in St. Louis.
From a fella who had never tried a field goal before.
Who was wearing cowboy boots. There was at one point. Now, I saw you out there on the field yesterday throwing. You look like you might be able to make it if it was a little closer.
Dynamite from 10 yards.
I was willing to loosen up my arm for a cool million.
West. It turned into a brief little flare-up of what appeared to be fisticuffs, and the official didn't like it.
Dead ball. Illegal motion by the offense before the snap. And third down.
He threw the flag on the illegal motion and then spoke rather sharply to the two young men to knock it off. Let's play football.
Yep.
They didn't flag the two players for the little extracurricular shoving. The ball is at the 7, was at the 7, about 8-yard line, so they bring it back to the 3, in between the 3 and the 4, and they're sitting. So we're looking at 3rd and 9 now for the Gators as they're standing with the goal line right at their back, and 2:50 to play in the first half. They're leading 24-7. There's that little pass behind the line of scrimmage, but it doesn't result in much. Taylor is captured right about the time he catches the ball and falls down in the pocket. So Florida now will have to punt out of the end zone.
For 87 is Dwayne Rudd, the linebacker on the left there, leads this team in sacks. He's an outstanding player. He recognized that and says, I saw that in the tapes from last week. I know that play.
Alabama has called the timeout, so you know that those who are involved in making special teams decisions will be involved in this particular discussion. Here's Lynn Swan.
Well, Keith, you know, this time of the year, there's all kinds of awards that are awaiting the top players in college football, but we all know Danny Wuerffel may be in line for a number of them. But let me give you an idea of what that means in terms of his schedule for the next 2 weeks. You know, after this game this week, tonight, on Monday, he will fly to New York for an awards dinner. Wednesday, he's got to come back on Thursday for finals. On Thursday, he goes off to another awards dinner. Friday to Orlando to accept an award. New York, because he's nominated for the Heisman. Tuesday, he comes back, finishes exams, and graduates on the 21st of December, and then there's a bowl game for him. I'm talking about that plate is not full, it's a mountain, Keith.
Then he has a 3.75 GPA in public relations. The kid can do it all.
Robbie Stevenson standing deep in his end zone. Roots it out of there. Pretty good kick, end over end, forcing a fair catch call back at the 48-yard line. And there the Alabama Crimson Tide will have it. And when Wuerffel gets to be your age, Grayson, he'll have the hives when he heads for another airport. Monday on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, it's a key battle out in the west of the AFC. Kansas City's going to Oakland, play the old Raiders.
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, that's a knuckle
That
buster.
gives me a headache every time I think of Oakland.
Monday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific here on
You know,
ABC.
the Dolphins went out to play the Raiders last week, and I don't think they've beaten them. We never beat them. I think they're 0-7, 0-9, but Kansas City does a little bit better out there.
Freddie Kitchens throws hard to the sidelines. The pass is caught by Chad Goss. But not a lot of yardage gained on the play, about 3. So it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Alabama's got the ball inside the 50-yard line with over 2 minutes to play. They need to get it down and get some points on the board to get some momentum going into the second half.
I'll tell you what, the jet airplane changed the world, didn't it? You think about all the places you can go in such a short period of time. It just absolutely changed the world. That ball is thrown again. This time it's thrown to Marcel West. A senior from, guess where he's from, Grayson?
Evansville, Indiana.
Niceville, Florida.
You want more stuff from Niceville.
Boggy country down at the 28-yard line. 1st down. Now Kitchens right now looks sharper. He looks like he did in that final possession against Auburn.
Exactly. He's just not consistent all the time. He's up and he's down.
2 minutes to play in the first half. Wentz is coming. They pick it up. The pass is thrown too long. Ross had broken loose. But Kitchens let it go, and it was way beyond him.
They got jammed at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't the timing that they were used to in practice. A lot of times in practice, the timing is a little bit different because the receivers get there quicker, but you have to wait and react in a ball game. You have to wait and see what it's going to be like in a game because they don't get off the line of scrimmage as quickly sometimes.
Wide receiver position. Marcel West is a been a nifty receiver for them on occasions as well. Twice Calvin Hall had broken free, but they were not able to get the ball to him. Dennis Riddle did most of the work at running back in the first half. And on the first play, Kitchens gives the ball to Riddle, and Riddle will pick up about 3.5 yards.
First possession, they go 3 wide receivers, take the tight end out, and try to present a passing formation and then try to run a draw play. Coaches on both sides are looking to see what the opposing team does on the first and second possession when they come out right after halftime.
2nd down and 7. Kitchens down the middle, complete to Vaughn. Vaughn will have a first down for Alabama at the 34-yard line. Those are the passes that Freddie Kitchens can work with. Relatively short slants, and
throws a lot of slants, Keith, like you say, and a lot of passes behind the line of scrimmage to the back that just runs a little wide route.
Those crossing patterns, he seems to handle them very well. Goss and Vaughn now, wide to the bottom of the picture. Passes away down the middle again, thrown in there, and run on the numbers to Shamara Buchanan, and Buchanan really takes a lick. And they wave it off with an incomplete pass. Weary is doing a little talking, and Buchanan started to answer him.
Well, you run one slant, and Florida adjusts very quickly. James Bates, number 44, the linebacker right there. He's backing up, says, you run a slant from my left side. Oh, you're going to run one from the right side. Yep, the ball does come out. Good call.
Yep. I don't know why Weary was waving his arms and doing too much talking. He was. 2nd down and 10.
Still upset about that call before halftime.
Kitchens swings it out to Riddle. Cuts it back into the middle and gets some help. And it's a first down.
That kid can make as much yardage after the catch as Anthony and Hilliard can for Florida.
And Reidel Anthony had a huge first half for the Gators. That's up at the 48-yard line, and it's a first down. Anton Lott, number 9, quarterback for Florida, is the injured player.
Take a look from behind the quarterback, see what he takes a look at. Just swings that ball out. Now watch the way Riddle just cuts all the way back.
And Anton Lott remains down on the field. So there is a timeout for him. They're still working on Anton Lott. He walked off the field. The lower extremity is not involved in the injury. They're working around the shoulder neck area there. He leaves with 3 tackles. Tony George replaces him at the cornerback position, and Freddie Kitchens hands the ball off. This will be good for about 3 yards. Dennis Riddle continuing, number 29, to be very effective in the running game, the most effective of the Alabama running backs.
He's got some shake and bake to him, Keith. He's got some excitement. One tackle away from breaking that for a big play, and that little pass they threw to him behind the line of scrimmage, I like that one.
Didn't take very long for Lott to get back into the ball game. On 2nd down now, he's back out there. It must have been the left shoulder, it looks like. He's flexing it some.
May have just had one of a stinger, Keith.
Riddle is the beat man. He goes in motion, puts him into a wide out position, and Kitchens back. As time goes down the middle, and it is too long. That's 3 times tonight. He's had people available deep down the middle, and he hasn't hit one yet. Roland Hape, the tight end. Patrick Hape, the tight end.
When you have that long to throw the football, and you have single coverage in the secondary, you'd like to make it a completion. Hape is the tight end. He's a great blocking tight end, and receiving is pretty good in the medium range. that one, when you have that much time, you like to make a connection downfield.
Abe is a 257-pound senior from Killen, Alabama, highly regarded. And from the 46, it is 3rd down and 4. Kitchens could run for it if he gets going a little sooner, and he may have it. He got tangled up under the rush and was a little late getting started when that space opened up in front of him. And from where we're sitting, the spot looks like it's good enough. But we shall see when the chains come off. Just getting underway in the second half of play. Florida jumping out to a 24-7 edge. Alabama coming back to make it 24-14. Well, that's fun. Well, it's close. Oh, boy. Very close. Here's Lynn's one.
Keith Ed Chester, number 94, is on the field, but he was late coming out to the second half. The reason why he was late, he was in the locker room getting IV fluids for dehydration. People don't realize as you come inside the dome, the air is a bit drier in here, and he, I guess, had a problem, so he was inside getting the IV fluids, Keith.
Very warm, actually.
274 pounds. He's an interior defensive lineman. This time of year, it's better to play outdoors because it's cooler.
There's that little pitch inside to Curtis Alexander, and there's nothing there. There's just too much traffic. That play's not going to get you anything.
Well, I don't know why you run that on 1st down, Keith. That's a good play to run on 3rd down or a long, 2nd and long when you're expecting the defensive lineman to be upfield. You want the lineman to be teeing off.
Oh, it's 2nd down and a little more than 10. Call it 11. Put it back on the 43. Out of the shotgun, loop pressure coming. Ball's thrown way over the head. Out like the wall. James Bates came up. He just looped around the center blocking and had a wide open shot at Kitchens.
So look at the battle outside. Shea Showers, number 2. Where is it? He's turning it around.
He was out there. Bates was bearing down on Kitchens, and ball was never in the neighborhood.
Kitchens had to get rid of it because Bates was right in there.
Got a man in the middle, wide open. Bomb. Ball was late.
Exactly, Keith. Great protection. He just underthrew it. He let it hang a little bit. You got man on man. Here's a look from behind. The blitz is coming from either side, but they pick it up very nicely. He's open right now, getting the ball. He had to wait for it. That could have been touched right here. Get him the ball. Throw it out in front of him, over the top.
Demetric Jackson was the man that slapped it down, and so they'll punt. 6th time of the night.
Hate to see those one-on-ones downfield and you underthrow them.
Stockton got all of that one. Knocked it well into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20. It'll go as a 43-yard punt. And it'll be 1st down Florida. Gators get the ball leading by 10. The SEC Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. And Chevrolet trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Terry Jackson's in the Florida backfield now as the Gators come up. 3rd quarter's been relatively calm so far.
It's a new defensive look for Alabama, a 3-man line.
Jackson.
Mike DuBose, the defensive coordinator, starting with something entirely new.
Kelvin Ziegler, number 20, the free safety, up on the line of scrimmage, made the tackle.
Here's a look at Florida defensively. I mean, offensively, what they've done. Scored 3 touchdowns on their 4th, 5th, and 6th drives of the game, and then got the field goal. lot of possessions.
Second down and 10.
Wuerffel's trying to figure out where these guys are lining up now. This is entirely different from the first half right here.
Jackson will get it out to the 25.
I thought that was always tough, Keith, when you're playing and you go in and you talk the whole halftime about what they did in the first half, and then he come out showing you something else. Here's a look at Florida. Wuerffel with a big first half, 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. The 2 interceptions didn't hurt him. 1 was deflected. Anthony was 6 receptions in a big first half.
The point that Steve Spurrier made about the Alabama defense, he said they come from everywhere.
Yeah, and they do a lot of different things, but
Rudd's wandering all over the place. He and Staten are everywhere right now. Wuerffel rolls to get a little time and throws, and the pass is incomplete.
And I like that, Keith, as you mentioned. He rolls a little bit. You know, that helps your protection. Mix it up a little bit. They didn't do this last week against Florida State. Just roll a little bit one way or the other.
That was Ike Hilliard, who couldn't quite control it. Fernando Bryant, the man tormenting him. And so the Gators will punt.
Well, there was some smoke coming out of the ear holes of the Gators that time. They saw something new they didn't see for the whole ball game.
Robbie Stevenson, the sophomore from Bradenton. Chad Goss is waiting for it back inside the 35. And snap. And the Tide eats him up inside the 15-yard line. The ball is bouncing around. Let's see where they put it down. It looks like the referee and the linesman are marking it about the 5 or 6.
Last week the Gators had a problem. In fact, they had a punt block early in the game that Florida State took in for a touchdown. Now the gates are open again on the punting team. Last week, I think Stevenson took a little longer to get the ball off. This time he doesn't catch the football.
Special teams. So a great opportunity for Alabama. Just short of the Florida 5-yard line. Reidel. Touchdown. So Dennis Reidel sticks it in the end zone.
66 is Meadows. He is the left guard that pulled. Special team mistake. One play later, a touchdown. And Alabama is back in this game.
24-21. And the kick is good. The snap to the punter was low, but Stevenson just didn't catch it. Michael Yonkin, the snapper, that ball was catchable.
Sure was catchable.
So Alabama gets a break, and they take it to the bank. Some faces triggering memories for the Alabama faithful. That kick will go way back into the end zone. Ike Hilliard catches it, but he will not return it. It'll be Florida first down at the 20. Tomorrow, basketball here on ABC Sports. Some of you watching Maryland, California. Most of you watching Michigan and Duke. Payne Weber College basketball begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, 10:30 Pacific here on ABC Sports. There's a penalty flag.
Red ball, personal foul, and the white team.
Against Alabama. So that's a biggie, 15 yards. And Gene Stallings is not a happy coach right now.
Phillips is one of their headhunters on special teams. He's also one of the quarterbacks.
restrain yourself, because it's the one who's responding that always gets caught.
Retaliates. You get hit, you retaliate, and you're the one that gets caught.
So the ball comes out to the 35-yard line. And instead of having Florida back on the 20, here they are. With good field position, Fred Taylor is a single back. Wuerffel under center. And he wants to throw. Now he's got to run it. And turns in a pretty good run. Ball came out. They're going to put him down. They're going to put him down on the 43-yard line.
Well, Gene doesn't agree with it. He thinks it was loose. But the Gators still haven't figured out this three-man line. It's the attitude of the defense is so much different. It's a three-man line, and they're not pressuring, they're dropping off. The first half, it was exactly the opposite.
Second down and 2. They got a hold of him just as he put the ball into play, but I think you're going to get an offside call on Ozell Powell. I think Ozell might have got a little head start there. We'll see.
We have offsides on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
2 mistakes by Alabama in this possession.
Keith, here's Ozell Powell out here, and there's the quarterback. Now, you know, the easiest guy to pull off sides is the guy right close to the ball, not because he can see it, he shouldn't see it and not move till it moves, but because he can hear the inflection and the voice and the tone of the quarterback better than anybody. And if you can get a staggered cadence, and you can affect him more than anybody else. And once he gets his 270, whatever, 295 pounds going, he can't stop it.
So it makes it first down for Florida, and put the ball at the 48-yard line, just beyond it. Messrs. Anthony and Green are out there. That ball is lifted into the air to the sideline. Reidel Anthony and completed down at the 35-yard line.
This is just great skill at the quarterback position and the wide receiver position. Bryant's shaking his head. He says, I was right on him. I'm right on him, and he just threw a fade on me. Under Spurrier, the Gators are pretty strong when they're leading at halftime.
Anthony, 7 catches, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. Big night. Wuerffel going the other way. Anthony's there, and it's snapped away. Good play by Nick Townsend. They had 6 in the pocket, and Townsend picked that pocket.
Ball was right on target. There's a look from behind the defense. Wuerffel 5 steps. Got a step on him. Ball is right there. Nice play by Townsend.
2nd and 10 from the Alabama 35. 24-21 ball game. Florida leading by 3. Gators trying to go back to 10.
This pass defense, the #1 pass defense in the nation, coming into the game.
8 up on the line of scrimmage. Quick pop underneath. Ike Hilliard picked up is about 8 yards. You got a penalty flag. Mistake in this Florida possession by Alabama. 3 mistakes. Personal foul, key offside, and now this.
Offsides on the defense. The 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Little mistakes add up to the sum. And if you make enough of them, it's a big sum. 2nd down and 5. Elijah Williams a sack.
Is Staten. Wuerffel knows that if he comes, I can't block him. I just need to get out of the way because the back's supposed to pick him up. Now the back needs to move up instead of staying back where he was lined up. If he thinks the linebacker may come, move up right into that gap where you can block him.
So it's 3rd and 9 now. The ball is just short of the 34-yard line. And timeout is called by the Florida Gators. So let's check in a moment with John Saunders in our studio in New York.
Keith, it's the Burger King College Football Play of the Day, but it could be the gutsy call of the day by John Mackovic. At his own 29, 4th and inches, he doesn't run it. James Brown rolls out and hits Derek Lewis. They gain 60 yards on the play, and it set up the touchdown that really nailed down the victory over Nebraska. So Texas is now in the Alliance Field, beating Nebraska 37-27. Keith.
You guys going to have to sit up all night trying to figure out this whole mess, John?
Let me tell you something. You can't say enough about John Mackovic and the game that he called for Texas in beating Nebraska. That was one of the all-timers. I saw most of that game this afternoon. And that last call, that 4th and inches from his own 29, was just symbolic of a lot of great calls that he made throughout that game.
Well, they've been very close to having a great season. They've lost more, I think, than John thought they would. But the game that really damaged them in the flow of the season was that close loss to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That really hurt them. It took them a while to get over that. All right, here we go on 3rd and 9. Just inside the Alabama 35. And they go to the shotgun.
Spread it out.
5 wide receivers.
Spread them out, shotgun.
Passes away. And Kelvin Ziegler was right there.
Yeah, this is a 4-down zone, though. He's not going for a field goal from this distance, and he's not going to punt it. So leave his guys out there and pick up the rest of it.
It'll be 4th and 5.
It's Brian Schottenheimer relaying the calls from Spurrier into the game.
Same line. 5 wideouts and a shotgun formation for Wuerffel. He throws for Anthony. He's got it, and it's a first down. He looked at Anthony. Anthony looked at him. He went right into the middle of the field to take the punishment. Cedric Samuels pelted him, but he got the first down.
The linebacker blitzes. The receiver sees it and runs a little sharp slant. Wuerffel sees it. If the linebacker blitzes, going to go right where he is and vacate the area and pick up the first down. Good coaching, good execution.
Some night, huh?
Some week.
To the corner, too long. Ike Hilliard was the intended receiver. Got a hand on it. Not quite close enough.
Talk about some good players, Keith. These 2 wide receivers hooked up with this quarterback, paired up with the coach on the sideline calling the plays. 2 All-American wide receivers, an All-American quarterback, and a guy that knows how to move players around and calling the plays on the sideline.
How much time do you think they invest in all that wig-wagging from the sidelines, learning the signals?
You know, it's the players just work it out themselves. The coaches don't tell them. The players get in there and says, all right, and they have fun doing it. You know, I want you to run a post. Well, what sounds like a post? Well, let's do this. All right, let's do that. Let's do the post.
Wuerffel breaks out of the pocket, takes off, got a block from Reidel Anthony, and he belted out of bounds just short of his first down, but he saw a whole lot of green out there and took off, resting his arm a little.
Lynn mentioned earlier that Wuerffel was going to New York. He's one of 16 players that have been selected to receive the National Football Foundation College Hall of Fame Scholarship Award, Keith. I'll be going to that dinner on Tuesday night. That's the end of the year college football banquet. He's in line to win the top award, which is an $18,000 postgraduate.
Elijah Williams is the single back. He gets the ball, bounces to the outside. He's got around the corner, and he'll have his first down at about the 13-yard line. So the Gators are carving out a touchdown march, it would seem here. They have been relentless in this possession. Alabama making 3 mistakes, and Gators are going to take it down, stick it in the end zone, and they can maintain this momentum.
Spurrier talking to his quarterback, Schottenheimer, who is relaying the message to Wuerffel.
This is the 10th play of this possession for Florida. He gets it away. The man's there. Touchdown, Anthony. Hold the phone. Penalty flag way across the field, all the way over at the line marker.
Offsides on the defense.
Touchdown.
Didn't lose the line. Touchdown.
So Alabama makes 3 mistakes in that possession for Florida. The Gators stick it in the end zone. Anthony and Wuerffel hooking up again, and Collins Cooper is in for the extra point. Good. 5 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Gators build it to a 31-21.
Well, you get the shotgun, and here comes the pressure from this side. But you know that you got single coverage over here. Now watch as Wuerffel sees it from the right side. He sees the pressure, and he backs up, drifts away from it, and throws the ball high enough and far enough to the outside to give his guy plenty of time to catch it. He got hit, threw the ball outside. You talk about being any good. Anthony and Wuerffel takes his time. He knows he's got all that room to the outside. Keep him running. Throw it away from him. Just great execution. There's nobody better.
Anthony now with 9 catches, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, his 17th touchdown reception of the season, and that ties the Florida single-season record that Chris Doering set back in 1995.
And a big drive there, Keith, for the Gators.
Oh, yeah.
Come back and answer that touchdown drive after the poor execution on that punt.
That's way back there. Oh, he's coming with it. Marcel West. He fumbles the football as he goes down, but he's down. So he took a blistering lick. And Alabama now got a little problem. They'll have to start with the goal line at their back. New Year's Day. Oh, yes. Arizona State undefeated against Ohio State, once defeated. The Rose Bowl. That'll be a big one on January 1st. And then on January 2nd, the Nokia Sugar Bowl, where undefeated Florida State is waiting for somebody. Maybe these Florida Gators. The best bowls in college football are here. ABC Sports. They try to run, and there's nothing there. Dennis Riddle.
That, as you take a look at Wuerffel sitting over on the sideline talking about it, that mistake of West bringing that ball out of the end zone. Now the momentum just jumped back to Florida. They scored a touchdown. Now they got you backed up. Now you got to be careful you don't make a mistake down here offensively.
Brennan Meadows just came off holding his arm. So he's out of there in that offensive line for Alabama right now. John Causey comes over the ball at center. 2nd down. A little more than 10. Kitchens out of the end zone. Lets it go downfield. Buchanan.
Kitchens just can't get it right on the long ones. He's overthrowing them, and then sometimes you're underthrowing him. It's just a feel you've got to have with the receivers.
It'll be 3rd and 10.
So important, Keith, to talk on the sidelines. The receivers say, I think I can beat him, or I can slow down, just throw it outside, I'll go get it.
They don't get it out of here this time. Florida's going to have good field position, and that ball is caught. That's going to be a touchdown. Michael Vaughn, 94 yards, no flag.
It's a big play from a team that's not used to making a lot of big plays. Michael Vaughn is a guy that can make them, though.
Once he got that thing out in the open like that, you got no shot catching him. John Brock for the point. Exactly how that got away, and I think the way it looked like Demetric Jackson might have gone to the sidelines and kind of said, I let him get away from me.
Well, there's the quarterback and the protection that he had. Look at where he points back at one of the other defensive backs, saying, you're supposed to be there. You weren't where you were supposed to be. Check it out here.
It's Jackson.
Here's Weary right here. He's expecting some help. There is no question he's looking for some safety help on the inside. There was a miscommunication, and Vaughn went right between them, right down the field, and Kitchens hit him for 95 yards.
And makes the score 31-28.
The guy was so wide open, Freddie, we couldn't miss him that time, huh? It's a good throw right there. A lot of big plays in this game.
All right, from the 35, Alabama will kick it away. William Watts. Hilliard and Williams are waiting back near the goal line. It's Hilliard, a yard deep. Good tackle, good solid tackle up at the 19-yard line by Steve Harris. This afternoon, the tempo started to build for this, and you got the feeling that we might be in for a scuffle, and we have it right now. At the 19-yard line, and we're coming up on 11 o'clock. I know some of you might be flipping around for your local news, but have a seat. This is a good one. 31-28, Florida leading Alabama by 3 for the Southeastern Conference Championship. The crowd down at that end of the field, mostly Alabama, they're trying to help. And you got a sack as Staten found his way through for the second time in the second half. And it's the 4th time that Wuerffel has been sacked.
This is the 2nd time. Staten just to the left of Wuerffel. He's got the cadence down. He knows the snap count, and he's getting up there. Number 21, that's Jackson. The Taylor needs to get up there and block the linebacker, Staten.
So the loss is back to the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 14.
Now every time that Staten gets up there, they got to worry about him coming again.
Wuerffel's got a guy. It's Green. He's just a burner, and it's a touchdown. simply outran Fernando Ryan.
Gene's not happy. He knows his offense can't keep coming up with these points. They came into this ball game averaging only 24 points a game. They've already scored 28.
Collins Cooper. Got it. Back to a 10-point lead for Florida.
The Spurrier's attitude is, just get me back away from the line of scrimmage. Get me away from all these guys up here, and I'll do some damage because the receiver is going to go straight down the field. If I can just get back and get a little time, get rid of it before they get there. It's just pitch and catch. It's single coverage on the outside, and my guy is faster than your guy. Anthony's caught 2. Green's caught 1. Hilliard's caught 1. He just runs straight past him. This guy, Jaquez Green, dislocated his ankle in the Fiesta Bowl last January and has made a complete comeback.
There have been 8 touchdown passes in the game. 5 for Florida, 3 for Alabama. The track meet.
Green dislocated his hip, I should say. But he is running in that game at the Fiesta Bowl, but he is running as well as he ever has.
Matt Teague to kick it off for the Gators, and Marcel West and Michael Vaughn waiting for it. Oh, that's a good high and deep.
Don't let him let it out.
No return. Hang time was so good on that one. He would have been lucky to get back to the 10-yard line. By keeping it in the end zone, he brings it out to the 20. Time remaining in the third quarter, 3:09.
Gene Stallings, Keith, did not want to get in to a shootout with the Gators. Florida leads the nation in scoring offense, averaging 47 points a game. Bama averages only 24 a game.
Sean Alexander now is in the backfield for Alabama. Pair of fresh legs. Little play action thrown to him, and he's taken down almost the moment he caught the ball. And he is short of the line of scrimmage, too. He's taken down about the 18-yard line by Johnny Rutledge. It's kind of interesting in looking through the season stats today. That we told you all before we came to the game that Florida had 111 penalties for an even 1,000 yards. Alabama about half that. But Alabama had 115 more rushes than Florida, while Florida had 102 more passes. And we get into this thing with a top offense against a top defense, and it's turned into a shootout, 38-28. Here's the blitz. Passes away. Alexander has it, and he's tackled immediately by Johnny Rutledge again. So Mr. Alexander beat Mr. Rutledge.
That's a nice tackle by Rutledge, too, because he's out there in space, one-on-one with a back that, if he gets by Rutledge, could pick up a lot of yardage.
Now you get Hall and West going into the ball game. Riddle comes out. Alexander comes out.
Bob Stoops has done a nice job with that Florida defense.
Calvin Hall and Michael Vaughn are together at the top of your picture. There's the wide out. And Kitchens runs away from the pressure. Better throw it. And finally throws it away. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you know that Brendan Mellows that walked out in the last series, number 66, the right guard. He has a sublimation of the right shoulder. In other words, it's not fully dislocated. It slips and slides, but not all the way out. He's on the sideline. Shoulder pads are off. He's got an ice bag on it. He's done for the evening, Keith.
Thank you, Swanee. 7th punt of the night coming up for Hayden Stockton. 7th punt. That was a pretty good tango there. They didn't have a deep man on the field for Florida. And finally, Hilliard gets out there, and Stockton hits a beauty. Hilliard at the 39, and back to midfield. Pretty close to it. 47 yards on the punt, 11 yards on the return. Well, they'll officially make it to 49, and here comes Danny Wuerffel now. He's got the series in mind. He has 3,589 yards passing this season. Gracie, if you'd have thrown that many times when you were at Purdue, you probably would be left-handed.
I've been worn out. That's right, I'd need to throw right-handed half of them and left-handed the rest of it.
Boy, that's a lot. That is really a lot.
The rules have changed a little bit to help the offenses.
Freed up the arms of the offensive line. That thing is worked on. He's out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Anthony has run that pattern, what, 6 times? I think it is, and it's worked every time.
It's not enough, Keith, for the defensive back to be right next to the receiver. I mean, Spurrier and his offensive team and coaches and players see this, and they say, hey, the guy's not looking back. What if we just throw it out there? The receiver's going to see the ball, the defensive back never sees it, and we'll catch him.
Well, you saw Kevin Jackson, number 7, in the white shirt, saying, I'm doing all I can do.
You see there, Gene, they're talking to Brian. Says, you got to see the ball. See the ball.
First down for the Gators. They run it with Elijah Williams. And he picks up about 5 yards. The Bud 1 airship sailing around in the quiet Georgia night. Seen by millions as it flew the skies over the Centennial Olympic Games, which took place here in Atlanta during the summer past.
A couple of the players on the field did. In fact, Wuerffel carried the torch as it passed through Gainesville this summer.
Second down. Somebody's got a hold of him, and he breaks away. And finally, Wayne Rudd gets a piece of it. The ball comes out. Pickett's after it. And who got it?
Alabama got it.
He gives it to Alabama.
That's the same blitz, Keith, that they've been getting in there on all day.
There's a penalty flag over here on this side of the field.
It may be an offsides.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Brutal blow for Alabama.
It's the same blitz that they've been getting in and sacking Wuerffel the last couple of series. That time they were just in there a little bit too quickly.
So they're starting to make mistakes, and they're coming at bad times.
Here it is. Watch, is he going to get in there a little quick? Right next to the center. That's where the weakness is when Jeff Mitchell, the outstanding center, was hurt early in the year. That interior offensive line of Kalick, Rich, and Yarborough all starting for the first time this year.
That's 4 penalties by Alabama's defense in the second half, and each one of them has really hurt them. There's another penalty flag on the field. The play goes to the right side, and Elijah Williams picks up the first down for the Gators. He was 2nd and 1 after the 5-yard penalty, and let's see about this one.
It's a big offside penalty, Keith, that negated that fumble recovery for Alabama, because that was a turnover, would have got him going the other direction.
This is against Alabama, too.
Oh, yeah, Gene doesn't like it.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
What the quarterback is doing is controlling the line of scrimmage with his cadence, and sometimes he's getting them to jump, and other times they're guessing right, and they're getting right between the center guard gap, and they're getting the quarterback before he almost gets away from center.
And the third quarter runs out. So at the end of the third quarter, the SEC championship presented by Dr. Pepper. game tonight, as you can see, as we came back inside. Now it is Florida, first down and 10, just inside the 22 of Alabama, leading by 10 points. There's a pass thrown to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Reidel Anthony. Flag over in the corner of the field near the end zone. Here's the call on it from the referee.
We got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the blue team. It'll be penalized on the kickoff.
That was for a little bit of jaunty footwork over there by Reidel Anthony, I think.
How many is that for Anthony tonight? 3?
3.
And for Wuerffel, we got what? 5? 6.
44-28. About to be 45 if they can convert the extra point. Alabama's defense has just suddenly fallen victim to one mistake after another, and it's done them in.
Well, it's basically, Keith, it's the same old story. It's defensive backs not being able to see the ball. You're going to see the blitz here. 87 Rudd gets rid of the ball. The defensive back just doesn't see it. Townsend. Anthony's going to look back, but Townsend never sees the ball.
It translates to touchdown.
Well, they do. I think the wide receivers do a good job of just playing possum. When the ball's getting close, their eyes don't get big and they don't jump too soon. They wait till the ball gets there so the defensive back doesn't react too soon, and by the time he does, they've got it.
You can see that Wuerffel has gone over 400 yards in the game tonight.
Here it is out here, one-on-one. He's just going to go straight down the sideline, and everything inside is man coverage, and just throws it up outside, one-on-one.
Anthony's catch is his 18th touchdown reception of the season. That's another new Florida record. These guys are dismantling the record.
And that's Wuerffel's 39th touchdown pass of the season. And we could go and read his records.
The game doesn't end pretty soon. He'll get close to Todd Detmer's career record of 121. 10-yard line for Marcel West. Out to the 26. And Tony George takes him down.
There's a look at the number through 3 quarters. The thing that's interesting to me, both teams, neither can run the football, but both of them are throwing it pretty well. 7 penalties apiece and 4 sacks apiece.
Sean Alexander in the backfield with Kitchens out of the shotgun. But hurry. He'll lose a yard on the play.
Well, what's going to happen with the Gators if they win? They're in the coalition, and they'll probably go to the Sugar Bowl to play against rematch against #1 Florida State, and if they lose, they'll be an at-large team.
The Alliance. Should be Alliance, isn't it?
Yeah, in the Alliance, and may be an at-large team in the Alliance.
Kitchens out of the shotgun. A little quick pop to Alexander. Big back. Fights his way up the field some. Gets it up to about the 34-yard line. That'll leave him 2 yards short of his first down. We're in the final quarter of play. 45-28 now. with Florida taking over control of the ball game, leading by 17 points.
Gene got into something he didn't want to, and that is a shootout with the Florida Gators.
So Alabama takes the time. The Budweiser Blimp and the Eye in the Sky camera are proud to provide you with these live shots 1,000 feet above the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, GA. 45-28. Alabama's ball, 3rd down, 2. Long one, sure. Well, here's Sean Alexander fumbling the football. It may have come right back to him, and he'll keep possession and get a 1st down up around the 40.
This Alabama defense has been outstanding all year, but tonight, through the first 11 games, they gave up 5 touchdown passes. And to Danny Wuerffel and the Gators tonight, they've given up 6. Talk about going up against the #1 pass defense in the country. That's what the Gators have done.
Kitchens out of the shotgun. Little short pass into the middle. Pass is completed to Buchanan. And he'll move it out to around the 47. Here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, we talk about the rabid fans in the SEC. I will tell you, these people are so loyal that every time there's a game, there seems to be a zip code change in the parking lot. That's because there are more RVs traveling around the country trying to get their fans here. Just look at the parking lot, full of them all week long, Keith.
Yeah, they just came over from the Auburn game. Long pass downfield is slipped away from Marcel West. Good defensive play by number 4, Lawrence Wright, and Fred Weary, 24.
Just a tad underthrown. That ball's out there a little bit more. So look at West. He has to reach back for it just a little bit. Gives Weary a chance to knock it away.
Then Wright runs over it.
Yeah. Just for good measure.
A double lump. 3rd and 3. Long 3. Now thrown too hard. Thrown behind him and thrown hard. Michael Vaughn. Trailing shoulder. No chance. So it's 4th down, and the Tide will have to punt. Jaquez Green is waiting. 8th punt of the night. Fair catch at the 17-yard line. There, the Gators will have the football with 12:43 to play in the game. The SEC Championship, presented by Dr. Pepper on ABC Sports, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. People who know use Valvoline. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. And Ford Motor Company, where quality is job one. Fred Taylor and Dwayne Mobley are in the backfield now for Florida. This is Taylor. And picks up the better part of 3.5 yards.
We've seen some offensive players here tonight, Keith, at halftime. We gave out the Chevrolet Players of the Year to Jake Plummer on offense and Charles Woodson on defense. Give me some of your other Players of the Year this year, the players that you've seen. Been a big year for offense. We're looking at a couple of them down.
Well, I think there's an exciting big old thumper up at Wisconsin. It was fun to watch. Yeah, Big Dane, the freshman tailback.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And they run it with a little counter inside. to about the 35-yard line. They had the reverse motion going, and it picked up the attention of about half the Alabama defense.
Take a look at the blocking, that young offensive line. 59 is Rich. Kalick is the guard next to him. Pillar, number 69's in there for a few snaps at left tackle.
You know, Kalick has been quite a story. He's a freshman. Started 11, 12 games.
Yes, this is 12th game. Redshirt freshman there, number 51.
Very sturdy fellow.
So, because of injury, a lot of new players in that offensive line, but that's the bad news. The good news is they're going to be around for a while, and they're getting a lot of experience this year.
I think Steve has probably decided we got all the points we probably need now. Let's just play on the game and use up that clock and get out of town.
This offense is going to be a lot new next year, Keith. That's Schottenheimer, 16, and then Doug Johnson, number 12, just to the right there. He's going to be the quarterback right next year, number 12 to the right side. He's a baseball player. He's not on scholarship. He signed a baseball contract, and Steve said it's going to be fun. He said, we're going to go back to coaching next year when you don't have Wuerffel or Schottenheimer. He said it's going to be fun working with Johnson.
2nd down and 7. It's Taylor changing directions, and he just simply took off and ran away from everybody. And the Alabama defense got to be getting kind of tired now, too. I think you can see that. But as you are watching this game, you got a penalty flag across the way. It seems like most of the flags have been thrown on that side of the field tonight. It's a holding call against Florida. Gators come into the ball game tonight against Alabama, ranked 4 in the country. Number 3, Nebraska gets beat. So obviously, Florida's got to move up in the next poll, right?
Right.
Brigham Young managed a win, even though they went to overtime over Wyoming. And you look on down. You look on down through the rankings, and you've got some quality teams going way down into the 15, 16 positions. Second half possessions for Florida, and you can see that bang, bang, bang. But the injuries continue to occur.
Yep.
Harry Jackson, the single back. He's got it. And that'll be a pickup on 2nd down and 12, pick up about 5 yards.
Keith, you can't talk about players of the year without mentioning Danny Wuerffel. Jake Plummer was the Chevrolet winner of the year, but Wuerffel, you got to think about Wuerffel and Reidel Anthony. How many touchdowns does he have now? He came in with 15. He's got 18 touchdowns on the year now, Anthony. You got to mention Troy Davis. What a great year he's had. 2 years in a row. With
2,000 yards.
2,000 yards. Byron Hensbard at Texas Tech going over 2,000. I love Darnell Autry, Northwestern.
Another big year. Wuerffel slapped out of his hands, and Alabama may have it. They do. At the Florida 32-yard line. Play was a little slow, getting unwound, and penetration.
It was an option. Florida was doing something that they don't normally do. And Wuerffel just didn't get rid of it quick enough.
Michael Myers, 96.
Watch this. He's going to do a little fancy stuff. Now he's going to come down the line on an option, and Myers just gets there. This is something that, you know, that's not in their basic offense. They're ahead here by what, 27 points. So Spurrier's trying to show a little option, and that's just not their normal flavor.
Kitchens, pursuit coming, throws it back to this side. Some blocking help for Dennis Riddle. Riddle coasting along, waiting for the other block, and then steps out of bounds at the 21-yard line. First down, just barely got his first down. Well, you're sitting there with a 17-point lead. You got the game in your hands. It's 9:30 or so to play in the game, and now all of a sudden Alabama sticks it in the end zone. It's 45-35.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. I didn't add that. I've got to get my calculator. It's getting a little late. It said 27 points. I meant 17.
I thought you were an engineering graduate from Purdue.
You always use a calculator. My slide rule.
Bates was all over Michael Vaughn, and Vaughn is shaken up. He may have done it a shoulder. Looked like his left shoulder hit the turf. Bates came down right on top of him, and I think that's what the problem is.
Behind the defense, Vaughn's going to come from our left side. Number 22, Bates is the middle linebacker now. And he lands right on that left shoulder. And that turf does not give.
Well, he's hurt.
Yeah.
That could very well be a separation. Vaughn was on the receiving end of that 94-yard touchdown play, which incidentally goes into the books as the longest scoring pass play in Alabama history. Now he's out of the game. Probably not to return. Donnie Young, you just saw there, is the only fifth-year player on this Florida roster.
Survivor. Everybody else in that offensive line has been hurt.
Kitchen throws, and the ball is not caught. They're waving it off down at the 6-yard line. It was in the hands of Shamari Buchanan for a moment. Shea Showers battling with him, and they wave it off. Tuesday night on ABC, all your favorites are right where you want them. Roseanne, Life's Work, Home Improvement, Spin City, NYPD Blue. All starts at 8, 7 Central on ABC Tuesday night. 9:22 to play in the ball game. The SEC Championship presented by Dr. Pepper. Florida has taken control of it. It got to a 24-21 circumstance. Then the Gators kept stepping it away, and they lead by 17. The pass is thrown into the corner, and some penalty flags are thrown on that one. There's another one.
There had to be somebody mouthing off over there.
Talking on that second flag.
Yeah.
Chad Gross was the intended receiver, and Shea Showers was down there. And then when all the scuffling was done on the ball, then another flag came out. These you know, having a calculator, he wouldn't add 4 and 4 if he had a calculator to do it in half the time. I mean, he wants everything right now.
We have interference against the defense. Be first down, 15-yard penalty. There's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense. Be half the distance. First down.
I don't think Steve's inviting him out for a drink after the game.
Now that's 30 yards of penalties.
Shea Showers, number 2.
Well, they pushed him down.
I don't know if he jammed him pretty good. The other penalty is when Antoine Lott came over and took his helmet off. That's the unsportsmanlike conduct foul, is when Lott took his helmet off.
Well, he said something there, too. Shea Showers is there, and he's nodding his head, and then somebody said something.
Bottom left of your screen, you can't take your helmet off.
Here comes Riddle, looking for a crack, and he goes down back at the 5-yard line. James Bates, the middle linebacker, came flying through to get him. So they lose some on that play, a couple of yards. And it'll be second down and goal from the 5. Michael Vaughn's story from 20.
James was saying it's a shoulder sprain. Right now they're trying to get some ice underneath to get his jersey off, and they say he may not be back in the ballgame. They won't say definitively, Keith.
Riddle to the 4. Bates again. Makes the play. The equipment they put on and the jerseys are so tight You almost have to cut them off sometimes.
The reason they want them tight is, especially on offense, is so the defensive players don't have anything to grab, especially the offensive linemen. The quarterbacks like them tight, and also the wide receivers.
3rd and goal. Penalty flag as Reidel is flagged down right about the line of scrimmage, losing a yard back to the 5. So it'll be 4th down unless the penalty goes the other way. Let's see where we are.
Offsides on the defense. You have the distance. Go down.
Steve Spurrier hasn't agreed with anything the official just said.
He's not going to agree with it.
Last 20 minutes.
Bob Stoops, the defensive coordinator, right next to him.
That's the 11th Florida penalty for 74 yards.
When you want your defenses aggressive and attacking, you're going to get some defensive penalties like over-aggressiveness and offsides. That's all it is.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Reidel is the deep back. He dives. And he did not get there. He's still about a yard short of the goal line.
You're down 17 points, Keith, and you're on the 1-yard line. You need a touchdown here.
Gators have handled the Alabama running game, Bob, very well.
No question about that.
They've handled it. Sean Alexander is in there as the deep back now. Kitchens bobbles the ball, has to go get it. Alabama cannot score. There's another piece of laundry, I think, laying down on the goal line.
The center quarterback exchange. This is not a potent offensive attack. They ride their defense in special teams play.
We have a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. It's the blue team.
From Florida.
Back to distance.
So Alabama will get another crack.
That is not an automatic first down. It's just half the distance.
Well, they're not going to get it. It's a dead ball.
Yeah, it's after
dead
the
ball
play.
after the play.
All
So
right.
it's Florida ball, and that simply moves the ball closer to the 1-yard line in Florida's possession. Just never got it.
Center didn't get the ball back. Quarterback pulling out a little bit. Oh, that's a tough one there.
Wuerffel having a little trouble getting out of the end zone, but they'll give him the line of scrimmage.
Wuerffel 6 touchdown passes today. Ty is most in Florida. He had 6 of them, what was it, last year against Tennessee. The Florida record is 7, set by Dean.
Second down and 10 now for the Gators. They have this thing pretty well in hand, having turned Alabama away. An Alabama touchdown would have made it a 45-35. Harry Jackson is the deep man in the end zone, but Wuerffel just takes the snap and wedges for a yard. The Florida play of the year, chosen by the coaches, is this one in the Tennessee game. It involved, guess who? Danny Wuerffel and Reidel Anthony. It was 4th and 11 at the Tennessee 35 in the first quarter. That opened up the Gator scoring, and they went on to a 35-29 victory. And that was the team they had to beat to win the SEC East.
Yep, that's right.
Tennessee. And it was in Knoxville. Third and 9. Probably nothing very fancy here. just barely got out of the end zone. So that will bring up 4th down for the Florida Gators, and they'll have to punt it away. The Heisman Trophy presentation. It's on ESPN, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. A celebration of college football's finest. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, and Kirk Herbstreit will be there to present the program and the winner of the Heisman Trophy. And I got to believe that man will win.
If there is not a more deserving young man than this one right here, not only has he had a great year this year, but last year and off the field, academics, in the community, any father would be proud to have him as a son.
Heck, I'd just like him for a neighbor.
Yeah. I would guess some of the other folks that might be there is Plummer, Troy Davis might be in attendance. I don't know, Byron Hanspard, Darnell Autry might be there. I'm probably leaving 1 or 2 out. I heard they're going to have 5 or 6 up there.
Time remaining, 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Timeout call.
Everybody in Stars, what's up, what's up? Back home with Stars.
There he is, 51 years of age. I remember he was a stick of a lad, just beginning to learn the trade. Here he is.
Wuerffel just going to take a safety here, probably, Keith.
Looks like it, yep. Well, going to run around. Somebody come tackle me, guys. Hey, go hold. You run out of the end zone. And that's your safety. And that'll get them the ball up at the 20, and they can kick it away.
So they're up by 17. Now they're only up by 15, and they get out to the 20-yard line and get a free punt.
The coordinating producer of ABC's college football is Bob Goodrich, who also produced tonight's game. Associate coordinating producer Jim Ressler, directed tonight by Drew Esikoff. Our technical director Gary Larkins, associate director Mitch Green, production manager Lynn Cadden, tech ops Claude Phipps. The assistants to the producer Bob O'Mara, Jay Galloway, our statistician Mark Meadow, our spotter Todd Barry, computer stats Craig Rothberg, and Dick Schafter, our sideline coordinator. And our folks in New York, produced by Charles Copland. The New York studio directed by Calvin Haywood. Our New York studio technical director Karen Ogle.
Those are bags of sugar they're holding on to there, the Gators. That's a good move by Spurrier, Keith. The thinking there is you're backed up on your own one. You've had problem with your punt protection and your punter getting the ball off. They had a punt block last week. So instead of risking it and giving up a possible 7 points, you give up 2 and then you move it out and you kick it off.
Bobby Bowden right about now is probably saying, "Oh Lordy."
Well, it's got to be Florida State and Florida. 1 versus 3. Back in the Sugar Bowl on a rematch.
Yep, second time. And
they did that before.
West at the 8. Marcel West is across the 35, about 36.
We talked about offensive players. We got to talk about defensive players. Charles Woodson was the one, but there's a guy that plays. There's a couple defensive ends around the country.
Just a couple, yeah.
That certainly are worth noting.
Well, there's Boulware and Wilson down at Florida State.
Boulware leads the country in sacks.
Vrabel and Finkus at Ohio State.
Yep.
And
go out to Nebraska.
Wistrom and Tomich at Nebraska.
Yep, no question.
And there's a big fellow up there at Virginia Tech that's awfully good.
Cornell Brown.
Yep.
Yep. You got to mention all those guys. That's
the 3 pairs that I mentioned, though, are as pairs are really something. Kitchen steps away, gets the pass in the air, and throws it into the seats. He was hit just as that ball sailed away. Tony George was after him and belted him just as he cut loose with it.
It's our last game before the bowl games. Keith, what about surprises of the season or memories, big upsets? Certainly the Arizona State beating Nebraska early in the season.
Well, I think that has to go down. Early in the season, that has to be the shocker of the season.
Air Force knocking off Notre Dame and Notre Dame.
At South Bend, what is that? Second down and 10 for the Tide. Almost picked off. thrown right at Keith Council, and he almost pulled it off. I think the success of the military academies, the Army, Bob Sutton's team, and Weatherby's Navy team.
Yep. The Pentagon.
And
Air Force, Navy, and the Army. How about overtime? I think that was a smashing success.
no question. Could have been done 35, 40 years ago.
I think everybody that had any reservations about it now, I think they all like it.
We've witnessed, however, something that is disturbing to some people. Kitchens passes away, put up in the air, a lot of air under it, and go incomplete, intended for Buchanan. The collegiate game has grown more commercial this year than it's ever been before.
Yep.
And probably will continue to go in that direction.
And then how about all on the field, the things that have changed to me. Everybody said, what are the offenses are running away with the game, and I think this year we've seen the resurgence of the defense.
Has come back.
Everywhere we go. And Spurrier said, he says, I think all those defensive coordinators went to a convention and they learned how to play aggressive, attacking, bump and run on the corners, and attacking style of defense.
4th and 10 right here for the Tide. They don't make it. And they'll make it. That'll work just as well as a punt. Thrown right to Fred Weary, and Fred, he caught it because it goes in the books as an interception. If he'd have knocked it away, he'd have had the ball back down there on the other side of the field.
Yeah, but don't tell me that to a defensive back. He wanted that interception. That's 5 on the year for him. Look at him. Stoops is telling him, if you don't catch it, we get it back here.
A little pitch and catch for the Gators, and a flashing moment of pitch and catch by the Tide, but not enough. And it's 45. 45-30. I'm sorry. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, the PGA and LPGA tours will pair up in Florida. You'll see the defending champions, Davis Love and Beth Daniel, but they got to hurry up. They're back sort of down the list. Pat Hurst and Scott McCarron and Donna Andrews and Mike Holbert at 13 under. Kelly Keene and Tiger Woods, the young ones, are just one back at -12. That's at 4 Eastern, the J.C. Penney Classic. That's fun to watch.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
Yep.
2nd down and 5. Taylor. And he gets 3. The 45 points scored by Florida is the most ever scored against a Gene Stalling team at Alabama. It's certainly not what he had in mind.
Yep.
Because he has just one more time to walk the sidelines in that crimson coat before he heads for the ranch in Texas.
Well, and that's something that we talked with him about, Keith, and one of the stories of this year also is that the number of coaching changes in college football this year. I think you counted like 23 in Division 1A football. 23 college coaching changes.
This is Taylor, and he will have his first down.
Here's a look at some of the coaching changes and the new coaches. Davey has taken over at Notre Dame. Illinois got the four Big Ten schools.
Hal Mumme goes from a Division II team to Kentucky. And Ron Vanderlinden goes from Northwestern over to Maryland.
Here are the vacancies. If you're looking for a job, Alabama, who would have thought Alabama and Notre Dame would be open in the same year?
That vacancy at Alabama will be short-lived.
Yeah, until what? Monday afternoon.
Yes, Monday. On first down from the 40. It's a matter of running out the clock is what we're doing here. Because Florida has this in hand at 45-30. And they're going to win. They've been in all 5 of the SEC championship games, and this will be 4 wins.
Been in all 5, and he has won the SEC title 5 of the 7 years that he's been at Florida, Keith. 5 of the 7 years he's won the SEC title, and before he came in 1970, Florida had never won an SEC title. The impact that he has made on this conference and at that school.
Well, that man had his impact too.
He won a national championship in 1992. He won the title, the SEC title in 92. He's won something that Steve has not won, and that is a national title. And that's one thing that in the state of Florida, with Miami having won 3 or 4 national titles, and the Seminoles, Steve is the only one in that state that has not won a national title.
Bobby Bowden is sitting in a position this year to win another one, and Steve Spurrier, depending on what happens with Arizona State in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State, theoretically is in position to win one himself.
It has not been a good day for Bobby Bowden.
No.
First, I'm sure he wanted Nebraska to win.
Yep.
And then, if he could, Alabama. Unfortunately for our good pal, Bobby, I think you're going to be playing the Gators again. You say, well, I just turned my defensive line loose like we did before. I'm sure somebody that's not real happy about it is Daddy Wuerffel. He threw, what he threw at 40? He threw it 48 times against Florida State, and I think he knocked down 31 times.
Well, he was knocked down 31 times, sacked 6, and all the other times when they had running plays, he was probably getting pummeled some too that we didn't really notice.
You're right.
So, yeah, 45-30, and the clock running at less than a minute now. It's the end of the season, the regular season. From here on, as soon as they sort out all of the bowl business, I'm sure.
Well, they have a meeting tomorrow. I don't know. I think it's going to be by conference call. And the Fiesta Bowl, first of all, the Sugar Bowl picks their first 2 choices, and the Fiesta gets the 3rd and 5th pick. Virginia Tech is already in. Texas is included.
Well, by contract, Texas has to have a spot, as the SEC champion also has to have a spot in the alliance.
Florida State is included. So Florida State, Virginia Tech, Texas, and Florida are in. The teams at large that are out there are Penn State, Colorado, Nebraska is in that group, BYU, and maybe Tennessee. And
the Western Athletic Conference has been heard to say, if our people don't get a fair chance at this, if we're not, and in particular they're speaking of BYU, which probably is going to be rated 6, they are threatening to file suit. Whether they can do anything in the courthouse, I have no idea.
What did Roy Kramer said the other day in making this alliance thing work? He says, we weren't trying to be fair. All we wanted to do was get a number 1 versus a number 2, a championship game in one bowl, and then let the other bowls pick some teams, not necessarily according to where their rankings are, but to their television draw, their attraction, and the number of people that they might bring to a bowl game.
Aye, lad, the lack of specificity is an invitation to indecision.
I'll take you home and put you to bed.
Phew, it's been a long night. This one is about over. You got 10 seconds to go. And the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Dennis Reidel from Alabama. Dennis had 17 carries tonight, caught 6 passes. Danny Wuerffel is the MVP from Florida, 20 out of 35, 401 yards and 6 touchdowns. Some night. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. A Chevy tradition for more than a quarter of a century. Well, we at ABC Sports wish all of you a happy and healthy and safe holiday season. Behave yourself and have a good time. And as Freddie Kitchens puts it a mile high in the air, throws it downfield, it is intercepted. And they wave it off and say this party is over. The Florida Gators defeat the Alabama Crimson Tide by a score of 45-30. So you'll You'll just have to watch, listen, and read tomorrow to find out all of the eventualities. Good night from Atlanta.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.